Welcome to Moonlit Ink BL. A BL story written under moonlight. Let's begin. Sam met Archie the way most beginnings go unnoticed. A passing moment. A shared hallway. Two lives brushing past each other during freshman orientation at the College of Engineering. Sam was learning how to survive a new city, new streets, new silence, new loneliness. Mechanical engineering filled his days with numbers and diagrams, but nothing prepared him for the quiet weight of starting over. Archie studied electrical engineering, moving through campus with a calm certainty, like he already knew where he was going. For a long time, they were only echoes in each other's days. A glance held for half a second too long. A nod outside a lecture hall. Familiar strangers, never speaking. Until one cold morning in the library. Sam was bent over his notes, pencil frozen mid-sentence, when a shadow crossed the page. He looked up. Archie stood there, notebook in hand, uncertainty written into his posture. "Hey," he whispered, as if the word itself might disturb something fragile. "Could I borrow a mechanical pencil? I lost mine." Sam handed it over. Archie smiled, and something warm settled quietly in Sam's chest. He returned minutes later, but didn't leave. "Is it okay if I sit here?" Sam nodded. Silence grew between them, not empty, not awkward, just there. When Archie finally returned the pencil, his fingers lingered for a heartbeat too long. "Would you like to get lunch sometime?" he asked. Sam said yes before fear could answer for him. Lunch became routine. Routine became habit. Habit became something neither of them dared to name. They exchanged numbers. Then thoughts. Then worries whispered late at night when the world felt too heavy. They studied together, failed together, laughed quietly together. People began to assume. They never denied it. But they never confirmed it either. Some feelings are so delicate you're afraid they'll disappear if spoken aloud. By their third year, time grew sharper. Louder. Life demanded more of them, labs, deadlines, internships pulling them in opposite directions. Conversations shortened. Touches became rarer. Sam told himself this was normal. That maybe it had always been just comfort. Archie knew better. One night, his voice broke through the silence. "Sam," he said softly over the phone. "Can we meet?" They sat across from each other in their familiar cafe. Archie couldn't meet his eyes. "I like you," he said. Then, quieter, truer, "I've loved you for a long time." The world shifted. Sam felt it, felt everything click into place. He confessed the same, years of restraint unraveling in a single breath. What had been waiting in the dark stepped into the light. They became real. Love came easily after that. Naturally. Like something long overdue. They moved in together, shared meals between study sessions, worked side by side until exhaustion forced them to rest. Life felt solid. Promising. Safe. The year-end engineering party was meant to be another memory. "Where something blue," Archie had said, smiling. Sam arrived early. Archie never did. Minutes stretched into hours. Messages went unanswered. Calls fell into silence. The apartment was dark when Sam returned home. Archie's tux was gone. His heart knew before his mind did. The phone call shattered everything. "Archie's gone." The words made no sense. They echoed, empty and cruel. At the morgue, Archie lay still. Too still. Sam collapsed beside him, grief ripping through his chest. A drunk driver. A moment. An ending no one had agreed to. The funeral passed in fragments, faces, voices, memories of a life interrupted. On the final day, Archie's parents pressed a small box into Sam's hands. And his phone. Inside the box lay a sapphire ring. Deep blue. Steady. Unbreakable. The phone lit up despite the cracks. Their beach photo filled the screen, sunlight, laughter, a version of them that still existed somewhere. In the drafts, one message waited. Sammy, I love you so moo. Unfinished. Sam held it to his chest and finally let himself fall apart. In the quiet that followed, he slipped the ring onto his finger. A promise spoken too late. A love unfinished. A vow only memory could hold. I'll carry you, Sam whispered. Always. Because some loves don't end. They change form. They live in memory. In quiet spaces. In sapphire blue promises that time can never take away.
A promise I never got to say. Archie's point of view. The first time I saw Sam, he didn't see me. It was freshman orientation, crowded, loud, overwhelming in the way beginnings usually are. Everyone looked lost, even the ones pretending they weren't. I was walking into the engineering building when I noticed him. Sam stood near the hallway wall, hugging a notebook to his chest like it was the one thing keeping him steady. His eyes were sharp, focused, but there was something else there, too. A quiet uncertainty. Like someone who had already decided he would survive this place, even if it scared him. I remember thinking, I hope I get to talk to him someday. For months, that hope stayed exactly where it started. I passed him in the cafeteria. Saw him in the halls. Caught glimpses of him between classes. He was always alone. Always focused. Always impossible to ignore. I didn't have a reason to talk to him. Until the day I lost my pencil. It sounds stupid now, but that moment changed my entire life. Sam was in the library, hair tucked behind his ear, scribbling equations like they belonged to him. I stood there longer than necessary before finally managing to say, could I borrow your mechanical pencil? He looked up. Our eyes met for the first time. It felt like getting hit by electricity, sharp, sudden, impossible to ignore. Fitting, I guess, since I was an electrical engineering major. When he handed me the pencil, something inside me settled. When I asked if I could sit beside him and he nodded, something inside me sparked. We studied in silence, but I kept noticing everything, how he tapped his foot when thinking, how he frowned at chapters he didn't like, how focused he became when he was determined to understand something. Returning the pencil felt like an ending. So I asked him to lunch. I was terrified he'd say no. But he said yes. And he smiled when he did. That lunch turned into conversations. Conversations turned into late-night calls, the kind where the world feels smaller, quieter, like it exists only for two people. I learned he wasn't from the city. That he'd left everything familiar behind to chase something bigger. That he was stronger than he ever gave himself credit for. We helped each other through exams. Shared frustrations. Laughed over nothing. Trusted each other without realizing how deep it was becoming. I liked him. I think I loved him from the start. But loving Sam felt dangerous. Too important. Too easy to lose. So I waited. And I waited too long. Third year hit hard. Deadlines piled up. Time slipped away. We barely saw each other, barely spoke. I missed him constantly, in places we used to sit, in conversations we never finished. I told myself the timing wasn't right. But life doesn't care about timing. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I called him, my voice shaking, and asked if we could talk. I almost turned back 10 times on the way to the cafe. My heart felt like it might tear its way out of my chest. When Sam walked in, tired, familiar, real, I broke. I like you, I said. Then the truth I couldn't hold back anymore. I've loved you for a long time. When he said he felt the same, everything finally made sense. Being with him felt like coming home to a place I didn't know I'd been searching for. Studying together. cooking together, falling asleep in the same space. It was quiet, steady happiness, the kind you don't realize is precious until it's gone. Our families supported us. Our friends teased us. Life felt full. I didn't know happiness could be so fragile. The night of the party, I was excited. I had picked out Sam's blue outfit the week before because I knew how good he looked in it. I dressed carefully, tucked a small box into my jacket pocket, the sapphire ring he loved. Not a proposal. Just a promise. A promise that I was choosing him. That I wasn't waiting anymore. On the way there, as I crossed the street, everything turned into blinding lights and screaming tires. And then, nothing. I never made it to him. Never saw him in blue. Never finished the message I was typing. Sammy, I love you so moo. My biggest regret isn't dying. It's leaving him behind. I wish I could have held him one more time. Wiped his tears before they fell. Kept my promise with my voice instead of silence. But if he's wearing that ring, if he still carries me with him, then somehow, somewhere, I'm still there. Because love doesn't disappear when life ends. It lingers. Quietly. Fiercely. Like a spark refusing to fade. And Sam will always be my forever. Even from the other side. This was Moonlit Ink BL. Thank you for listening. Good night.